So the message is entitled, The Danger of the Father's Nakedness. The danger of the father's nakedness. When we say someone is a father, it simply means a male who has raised up a child or children. So when we call someone a father, it means that it is a male in the life of a child or children. This person has been able to raise these people, or he has been able to raise this child. We refer to this person as what? A father. And God has given some particular mandate to fathers. And when we know this, it is going to help us so that we don't do certain mistakes to our fathers. The preaching is going to be based on the physical father and then the spiritual father. So I'm talking about these two. God has given a particular mandate to fathers, either it being physical or spiritual. And one of the mandates that God has given to the fathers is that they are the ones who can release generational blessings onto their children. For a child to be able to carry generational blessings, it is the father who must release this blessing onto the child. You will understand it when we read the Bible very soon. Somebody will be asking, hey, so then what are our mothers? That is the mandate God has given to the fathers. So when you miss that blessing of the father, then it will take the grace of God for you to succeed. It will take the mercy of God for you to be able to make it on this earth. So when you meet a father, you are meeting someone who carries generational what? Blessings. And that is the way God made it. You see, when God created the earth, he left everything in the care of man. And he told man to cultivate it, to grow it, to nurture it, and let the earth grow. And he also gave man the mandate. After God created everything, he called Adam and told Adam, name these things. So any name Adam gave, this animal, you are called hippopotamus. And that was the name. When Adam looked at this animal, you are a lion. Then that is your name. When Adam looked at this one, you are a snake. And that is the name. So whatever name Adam gave to the things God created, that became their name. Till today. So one of the mandates God gave the fathers is that they should be able to name. So when a man gives birth to a child, he is the one who named the child. It is a mandate God has given to the fathers. And because the fathers will have children, it is possible that these children may see the nakedness of their father. And when you are a child and you see the nakedness of your father and you don't handle this thing with care, if you don't take care, that is where you start seeing curses in your life. And that is what today I want us to talk about. When you are exposed to your father's nakedness, how do you handle it? When your father is doing something you feel is not right, and you are in the known of whatever is happening, how do you handle this situation? Let's look at the Bible, Genesis. Something beautiful happened over there. Chapter 9, the verse 20. Genesis chapter 9, the verse 20 to 27. It said, Noah, listen carefully. Okay. And Noah began to be a farmer. Okay, let me. And Noah was the first tiller of the soil. He planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine, and became drunk, and lay uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brothers outside. Then Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it upon both their shoulders, and walked backward and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his youngest son has done to him, he said, Cursed be Canaan, a slave of slaves shall he be to his brothers. He also said, Blessed by the Lord my God be Shem, and let Canaan be his slave. God enlarged Japheth, and let him dwell in the tent of Shem, and let Canaan be his slave. Amen. Oh, amen. After the flood, after God has destroyed the whole surface of the earth with water, Noah and his family were the only people left on the earth. And Noah had 3 sons. The Bible said, when everything was settled, the man went to grow vineyard. He had some vine. And he drank of the fruit of the vine. In our days, we will say he was able to get some akpeteshi. And then he took some. And then he got drunk. But when the man, because he was drunk, he wasn't aware of himself. So he was naked. And the Bible said, one of the sons of Noah saw the father's nakedness. And he went to tell the other 2 brothers, come and see, our father has taken wine and he is drunk. Come and see him. He is naked, oh, come and see. The Bible said, when Noah got up and he realized what the son have done. No, but if your son should see your nakedness, why should this one be a curse to the son? When the son saw the nakedness of the father, because this child was immature, he didn't know how to handle this thing. So because he made mockery of the father, this became a curse to this child. And you see, there was one thing I was asking myself. Why is it that Noah didn't curse the son, but he rather cursed the generation of the son? Look at the Bible very well. Let's go back. I think the verse 25 or so. Nobody didn't curse Ham. If we were to say you are cursed, then the curse will have ended on Ham, and his children's children will have been free. But nobody didn't curse Ham. But he cursed what? His generation. Why? Because the man saw the father's nakedness and he couldn't handle it. So the father released a curse unto not even the child, but to his generation. Some of us, so you see, then he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servant, he shall be to his brethren. Then I understand why God gave the land of Canaan to Israel. Because this was the origin of the curse. So many years passed, that curse came to pass. Canaan was on his land, and God said, no, I'm giving this land to Israel. And he said what? Servant of servant, you shall be to your brethren. Some of us, God has brought us to the life of some men of God. And when we met these men of God, we saw some nakedness about the men of God. We saw certain things about them we couldn't handle. We saw certain things about them our mouth couldn't keep quiet. And then we end up spreading these things. We end up broadcasting these things. If you even, let me tell you, even if the man didn't say anything, curse will follow you. Your biological father did something. You saw it. Because of you, because you are not mature enough to be able to handle what he did, you went about spreading him. You went about telling people about it. You became the TV3 in town. You went about spreading whatever he did. And this man has bitterness in his heart. And you think he will be a blessing to your life. No. I read something in the Bible and I was so surprised. Not knowing, every father you stay with, take notice of certain things in your life, which you may not know until he tells you. If you like, when you live here, sit your father down and let your father play your life history for you. You will be shocked the kind of things he will say about your life. You may think he's not taking notice of anything. You think you're going in and coming out. He doesn't know whatever is happening. Let him sit you down and then you understand. There is a danger when you are exposed to your father's nakedness. And if you are not able to handle that nakedness, because your mouth will not allow you, because your eyes will not allow you, it can lead you into trouble. So many fathers today are bleeding. So many fathers today are crying inside because their own children have caused so much pain into their lives. Some children got angry because their father rebuked them openly. Why is it that my father didn't call me secretly and warn me and say this? But he look at the people here. He said all these things about me, and you were angry with your father because your father rebuked you in the sight of everyone. Let's see what the Bible said about open rebuke. Proverbs 27, verse 5 and 6. He said, but is okay, better is open rebuke than hidden love. This is the Bible. Oh. He said what? Open rebuke is better than love carefully concealed. The NIV is saying that open rebuke is better than secret love. So your father rebuked you openly and you got angry. Why is it that he didn't call you inside and say this and say that? But he said this in the midst of all your friends. The Bible said what? Open rebuke is what? Better than secret love. When you are exposed to your father's nakedness, be careful how you handle it. When you are exposed to your father's weakness, be careful how you handle this, because this can be a curse in your life. Let's look at something in the Bible. Genesis. The same book of Genesis. Chapter 27. The verse 26. Then we will look at Genesis 49. Verse 1 to 20. So the verse 26, then his father Isaac said to him, come near and kiss me, my son. So he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his garment, and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which the Lord has blessed. May God give you of the dew of heaven, and of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and the nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may your mother's son bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. I was telling you, the fathers have mandate to release generational blessings. So the blessings they will release is through what? Their words. So this was a story where Isaac told the son they should go and prepare something for him to eat, after which he will bless them. And Jacob outsmarted Esau, and he prepared it for the father. And the blessings that was supposed to go to Esau, Jacob received that blessing. And that is it. So this blessing was upon Jacob. And when Jacob was also about dying, he also had to release this blessing onto his children, so that the children can make life better, or the children can live a better life. But now, let's look at what happened to the sons of Jacob when the father was about releasing the blessings upon their life. Genesis 49. Then I realized that, not knowing, as we go and come, our fathers are taking notice of everything we do in our lives. Then let's look at what Jacob said to his children. Then Jacob called his sons and said, gather yourself together, that I may tell you what shall befall you in days to come. Okay. And Jacob called his sons and said, gather together, that I may tell you what shall befall you in the last days. Verse 2. gather together and hear, you sons of Jacob, and listen to Israel, your father. Verse 3. Now, look at the account Jacob gave for all his 12 children. At the time Jacob was saying this, he was almost about dying. So he wanted to bless his children so that he can die. So he was able to keep record of his children from the day he gave birth to them to the day he was about dying. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might and the beginning of my strength, the excellence of my dignity and the excellence of power. Verse 4. Look at what he said about the first son. Unstable as water, you shall not excel. A father telling his own son that you will not succeed. Now, let's look at why did he say this. Because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it. You went up to my couch. What it means is that Reuben, being the firstborn, took one of his father's wives and slept with her. And the question was, the father didn't ask the guy anything. So the guy thought the father was not aware. Now, when the time was due for him to bless the son, he went into the archives and released everything the guy did unto him. So he being the firstborn, in the history of Israel, when you are a firstborn, you receive double portion of everything that is shared. So if your father have 100 cows and they are sharing the cows, the firstborn receive double portion of everything that has been shared to the siblings. But Reuben, who was the first son, who was supposed to receive double portion of everything the father has, the father told him, you will not excel. You will not succeed. The reason being that he went into one of his father's wives, slept with them, and the man never asked the guy anything. So in the mind of the guy, the father is not aware. In the thought of this guy, he did this secretly, so no one saw him. But when the day was due for the father to release the blessing onto this child, the father went into the archives and he pulled every record he had about him against him. And Reuben, who was supposed to be the firstborn, his name was not seen in the list of Israel's children. So if you look at the tribes of Israel, you will not see Reuben among them. Because of what? His father's nakedness. Let's continue. He said, unstable as water, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed, then you defile it. He went up to my couch. Let's continue. Simon and Levi are brothers. Instruments of cruelty are in their dwelling place. The father is giving account of his children. They thought they were living their life normally, but the father was taking notice of everything they were doing. Verse 6. Nor let my soul enter their council. Let not my honor be united in their assembly. For in their anger they slay a man, and in their self-will they hamstrung an ox. He said what? In their anger they killed a man. And the father took notice of this. And it was in his head. And he was living with them normally. And they thought the father didn't know about this. That is why I'm telling you, God has given some special mandate to fathers. And you must be careful so that you don't miss that blessing they have. If not, it will be difficult for you to survive on this earth. Unless the mercy of God speaks for you. He said, come and gather together. Let me tell you what will happen in the last days. It means that the father in this stead was acting as a prophet. He was prophesying about whatever will happen to his children on this earth. He said, in their anger, they slay a man. They killed a man quietly, and they came home. They washed their hands. They even put powder on their face. So their face looked clean. But the man saw it. But the question is, was he going out with them every day? No. But how did he know? They came home as people who didn't do anything evil. But their father saw their act. He took notice of it. And then at the day of accountability, he released this. Let's continue. Cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. Verse 8. Judah, you are he whom your brothers shall praise. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Judah is a lion's whip. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He bows down, he bows down, he lies down as a lion, and as a lion he shall rouse him. Verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah. What it means is that the kingship shall not depart from Judah. What it means is that any king that will ever live in Israel will surely come from Judah. The scepter there stands for a sign of authority, of kingship. So when God is saying that the scepter shall not depart from Judah, what it simply means is that there's no way there will be a king who will not come from Judah. Nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh comes. And to him shall be the obedience of the people. Verse 11. Binding his donkey to the vine, and his donkey's coat to the choice vine, he washed his garment in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. Verse 12. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. Zebulun shall dwell by the haven of the sea. So one of his sons, he's telling him that for you, you will be by the sea. He shall become a haven for ships, and his border shall adjoin Sidon. Issachar is a strong donkey lying down between two burdens. So one of the sons of Jacob was Issachar, and he's saying that he's a strong donkey, and he will lie between two burdens. He saw that rest was good, and that the land was pleasant. He bowed his shoulder to bear a burden, and became a band of slaves. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. So what it means is that the judges from Israel will be from Dan. So people who will be judging Israel, they will all come from Dan, the tribe of Dan. And this is a father releasing this blessing unto his children. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, a viper by the path, that beat the horse's heel, so that its rider shall fall backward. I have waited for your salvation, O Lord. God, a troop shall trample upon him, but he shall triumph at last. Bread from Esau shall be rich, and he shall yield royal dignities. Naphtali is a deer that loose. He uses beautiful words. Then Joseph is a faithful bath, a fruitful bath by a wall. His branches run over the wall. So this was the account the father gave about his children when the time was due for him to bless them. And we saw that some of them missed the blessing because they couldn't handle the nakedness of their father. So as I'm talking to you about the nakedness, the danger of the nakedness of the father, when you are exposed to this nakedness, be careful how you handle it. When you are exposed to certain situation that doesn't look pleasant with the fathers, be careful how you talk about it. Because they are the same people who carry the blessing. And these same people also carry curses. When they bless you, you are blessed. And when they curse you, you are cursed. Because this is the mandate God has given to them. So when you are here and your father has released a curse upon your life, get some elders, get people, go and beg him. Let him reverse that curse. Don't say, if you say whatever I want to say, nothing will happen. You don't know. Because the blessing they are giving you is not they putting money in your hands. The blessing is in their words. The curses they are giving you is also centered in their words. So when your biological father blesses you, you are 80% okay in this life. What you need is just to add your seriousness, and that is all. And when they curses you too, then you need the mercy of God. So don't be the reason why that father will be crying. Don't be the reason why that father will have pain in his heart. Be careful with your dealings with the fathers. Don't say, what he's saying, it doesn't weigh. Nothing will happen to me. What he's saying, he's just saying something. You'll be playing with it. Because if Jacob was to tell Reuben, because of what you did to me, you will not excel. And truly, since that day, we didn't see the name of Reuben anywhere in the Bible. And you think this one is a joke. Oh, he's not God. He's not God. Whatever God said is final. For him, he's not God. Yes, he's not God. But you've forgotten it is God that gave him that authority over your life. So don't be the reason that father will be crying. Don't be the reason that father will regret he gave birth to you. Don't be the reason that father will be in his room and he will be in pain. I mean, he will be in a state where he will always be crying because of that particular child. No, don't be that child. You were fortunate. God brought you closer to a man of God. God brought you closer to someone that God has prepared to shepherd your life. And along the line, you started seeing certain things about him, started hearing things about him, and then you were the agent of propagation. You stood with the people and started broadcast. So your aim is that you hear from his end, you see the things, and then you send the information out. So all the feelers about the man of God, you are the one giving them out. Then the man of God hears it. He will not ask you anything. He will not question you, why are you doing this? And you continue in this. Then the day when you want him to bless you, you are expecting blessings from him. It will not come. Why didn't Jacob ask his children what they did? You killed this man. Why did you kill the man? So that they will solve, the things peacefully. So that the day of blessing, he will have blessed his children. I was asking myself this. Why didn't he call his children and then settle the differences he have with them? So that he would rather bless them than curse them. But the man kept quiet. And the day he was supposed to bless them, he rather brought the things they did against them. So don't think what you are doing, your father is not seeing it. He's seeing it. There is a saying in tree that you see them penny ti den manti manti. He will hear it. He knows of whatever is happening, but he assumes he hasn't heard it. Children of God, this is what God is prompting us on. Today is Father's Day. And I know in the world, most fathers are not celebrated. When it is Mother's Day, it is news everywhere. Because we feel they gave birth to us, they breastfeeded us when we were children, and most of the things we see, we think is our mothers who were doing it. Meanwhile, it's the fathers who were doing it behind the scene. And our mothers were taking the glory. So most fathers are not celebrated. But today, God is bringing this to our awareness. God is bringing this to our notice, that we should be careful how we deal with our fathers. We should be careful how we relate with them. Some fathers will not talk much. They've seen it, but they are quiet. When you are here and you are having an issue with your father, the moment we close, go and make peace with that father. Listen, No matter what he did to you, whether he didn't take care of you, whether he took care of you halfway and left you, the moment he's a father factor in your life, you must see him as such. Sometimes you see some people, they want to get married, and then they will go and hire fathers somewhere to come and sit in as their fathers. And because we don't do proper investigations, we accept these people, the marriage gets on. And you know, along the line, something will happen, and then you will need a father to come in. Then you realize that the man who sat in the marriage was not actually the father. Then you are now going to beg your father to come and sit in and solve that problem. If I'm your father, I will not come. The danger of the father's nakedness. If you know you can't handle the nakedness of the father, then don't even go closer to it. If Ham knew that he propagating the father's nakedness would have brought curse to him, I'm not sure he'll have gone there. Children of God, some fathers are crying. Let me tell you this story. There was this family, they took me as their son. And when the mother of these children were around, the mother portrayed the father to the children as the man was like a useless man. So anything they want, they go to the mother to ask of it. And not that the father was not, he was working and some issue came and he was sacked. Monies they were supposed to give to the man, they never gave him because they said he stole something from the company. So all benefits he was supposed to enjoy, he lost them. So the children see their mother as their father, as their everything. When they are going to school, it's their mother. When they are going somewhere, it's their mother. Everything was mother. All the children completed SS. Unfortunately for them, the mother died. Now, this father, you didn't see him as a nobody. This father you saw as useless. It was time for one of the daughters to get married. And they need the father to stand in. And unfortunately for this young girl, I don't know what he told the man. The man came to the house. I think the father was discussing with them their marriage preparations. And the answer the guy gave to the father is like the lady has already told the man to be something about the father. So you are coming to marry, and then you can give cheeky answers to the father. Then the man said, oh, if that's the case, this marriage, I can't hold it. If you can come and insult me in my own house, and you want to marry my daughter, then this marriage will not come on. Come and see. And then the father is this, oh, and the father is wicked, and the father is that. Then I was called into the matter. So I called the young man behind the scene. I told him, what you did is not right. You have to go and apologize to the man. So I told him, call elders Take snap, as many as you can. Go to the man. Apologize to him. Beg him. Let the man accept you. If not, this marriage cannot come on. The guy was tossing up and down. I told him, I know the man you are dealing with. He has taken me as a son. So if I'm telling you something, you must obey. He thought he can just go ahead with the marriage without the father's involvement. He did whatever he could. It didn't come on. Until he went to the man and apologized. Before the man said, okay, now I have left everything. Don't underestimate or underrate any father factor in your life. Because the moment he is a father to you, heaven has given him a mandate. So if he didn't do anything right, leave him to God. Let God deal with him. Do your part as a child. Do your part as a son. Do your part as a daughter. And leave him to God. Because God will deal with us individually. So if you are a son, do your part as a son and leave the rest to God. Whether my father didn't take care of me, my father didn't take me to school, my father is the reason why I am the way I am, my father is the reason why I'm suffering, my father is what. He is your father. So someone is asking, does it mean that I am saying that everything the fathers do is right? I said, leave them to God. Do your part as a son. Do your part as what? A daughter. And leave their case to God. Many people are suffering today because a father released a word into their life, and it has been a hindrance to their lives. Many people are not doing well in this life because a father said something against their progress, and that thing has been a stumbling block in their lives. So when you feel your father is not doing something right, you present him to God and do your part. As I said earlier on, don't be the reason a father will be weeping. Don't be a reason a father will wake up at dawn and be crying. Even those ones are curses on your head. Jacob told Reuben, because you went into my room and defiled my bed, you were supposed to be the first son among my children, but because of this thing you did, you will not excel in this life. I thought fathers love their children. I thought fathers want to see their children advancing. I thought fathers want to see their children making impact in this life. I thought fathers want to see their children advancing on every area of their lives. But in the case of Reuben, because of what he did, this thing hurt the father. This thing has caused pain to the father. This thing has caused the father to be weeping. And because of this, he told the son, for this reason, you will not excel. And that was the end of the generation of Reuben. Everything you are doing, God is watching. And you see, because God has given the earth to man, there should be an authority that should be on this earth. And that is why God has placed fathers on the earth to be authorities on the earth. There are some men, the moment their father speaks, they have no choice than to obey. Because the Father is the God factor on the earth. So, children of God, God is sending this caution to us. So when God brings you close to the Father, your responsibility is to propagate the Father. Your duty is to make sure that the Father is seen by the world. Your duty is to make sure that your Father is known. Some years ago, you know me, this WhatsApp DPT, I'm not that used to. I was one day on the phone and then I heard a voice that he must increase so that you decrease. When I heard that thing, since then, there's no way you will see my picture on my WhatsApp DP. You always see the man of God's picture there. Because God said he must increase so that I must what? Decrease. Because it is my duty to propagate the man of God. It is my duty that the whole world must know him. So when God gives you a father, it is your duty to make sure that this father is propagated. But most of us, we are even shy of our fathers. We feel shy to call people fathers. But these are men that God has blessed that they may bless us. These are men that God has filled them with wisdom, with understanding, so that they can order our steps, so that our steps will not slide. These are men that God has prepared specially into our life to direct and correct our life. Fathers can cause order in the life of their children. When a father sees that the child is not going the way he ought to go, he brings order in the life of this child. So when God bless you with a father, you must hold this father in high esteem. I quite remember the day my biological father died, then I understood why we have fathers. Before he died, he told me certain things that this will happen. I thought, so sometimes I think this prophetic thing is also with him. He told me this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. And when he died, I saw all these things happening. So when they were happening, I wasn't surprised because he told me. These are men God has given us. God has blessed them with wisdom. God has blessed them with intelligence. So that when they are leading us, they will not lead us astray. But some of us don't listen to our fathers. You feel you have your master's degree, you have your PhD, your father didn't go to school. So now you don't see him as a somebody in your life. If it is education, that make people fathers. Like we have so many fathers on this earth. But Paul said something. He said, we have so many teachers, but yet few fathers. You can get people who will teach you, but to have fathers, they are few. So everybody cannot be your father. You must know this. Everybody cannot be your father. We have so many teachers, but few fathers. So the father will nurture you, the father will raise you, the father will correct you, the father will punish you when you go wrong. The father's duty is that this my child will grow to be a responsible and fulfilled Christian adult. That is the duty of the father. So you do something wrong, he will lash you. He will do something wrong, he corrects you. You do something wrong, he punishes you. All what he is doing is to make sure that you will grow to be in line with God's plan for your life. This is who God has made them in our lives. And after they have done all this in your life, then they release the generational blessing into your life. So when you are fortunate and you receive this blessing, then you run with it. Let's be on our feet. Maybe you are here